Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about books that I read and movies slash TV shows that I watched in the month of March, and also how fast did March fly by. I just don't remember what happened in March. I had to just sit down and think what I read and watched. Unfortunately, I couldn't read much, but I tried to squeeze in, I think, around 6 to 7 books, but most of them were audiobooks. Also, if you are following me on Twitter or on Instagram or my Bookstagram, Angie the Bookaholic, you know that I was busy with an adoption. Like, I do animal rescue and street dog feeding and all that. So I had rescued a puppy a while ago, and he was sent to a good home, but unfortunately he was returned. So I had to find a new home for him. So, yeah, I was busy with that. And also, March is a month where it's super busy at work as well. So everything came together, and so I couldn't read much. So without further ado, let's get into what I have read and watched in the month of March. The first book that I want to show you is the physical book that I read. I read only one physical book, I think. The other ones were, me just finishing up, books carried over from February. And that is Legends and Latte by Travis Baldree. It's the story of an orc. She is battle weary and she wants to just settle down, retire, and stop this whole madness about killing and all that. So she was kind of a mercenary, and now she wants to retire. And she finds a small, quaint little town. She has a secret why she chose that particular town or village, and then she sets up her coffee shop there. The book is about how the coffee shop is going. There are some conflicts, there are some enemies who do not want her to flourish, and that's the very quick brief summary of the book. This is definitely a low stake high fantasy book, just as advertised on the book and also by many booktubers. This is the kind of book that you just grab and sit on your reading couch with a cup of nice hot latte or any hot beverage of your choice, and just basically it's an easy cozy read. That's what I call these kind of books, easy cozy read. And I'm glad I read it. It was a quick read as well. If you are a beginner into the world of fantasy, or generally if you want to start reading, and this would be a nice choice to start with, because it's not prose heavy, it's not plot heavy, it's an easy read, but at the same time you get all the fun that you find in a normal fantasy book. So I rated this book 3 out of 5, which says that I liked it, but I love it, and I would definitely read something similar from the same author as an easy cozy read. The other books that I read in the month of March are all thrillers. So the first one I want to talk about is 1 in 3 by Tess Stimpson. The story revolves around 3 people, mainly 2 women and 1 man. The women are named Louise and Cass respectively, and the man is called Andrew. Now, Louise is the ex-wife of Andrew, and Cass is the current wife, the new wife of Andrew, and they've been married for 4 or 5 years now. Cass and Andrew, and Louise is kind of bitter because she felt betrayed and cheated on. Anyhow, they managed to pull through this whole strange dynamic for 4 years without any trouble. But trouble starts ensuing when all the 3 of them start stepping on each other's toes. There's a lot of misunderstanding. The dynamics are getting strained. Then Andrew gets murdered during a family get-together, a family time away at a resort kind of place. And both the wives, the ex-wife and the current wife, are found standing near his body. It's always a wife, right? But the question is, which wife? And that's what you will find out if you choose to read this book. There is one thing that I really love in my thriller books, which is multiple POVs, multiple first-person POVs. This book has that, and they are very well executed by the author. Overall, this was a really great read. I rated it 4 out of 5. Next up, I read The Couple at Number 9 by Claire Douglas. Now, this is also a mystery slash thriller book. So there is this couple, Saffron and her husband Tom. They are moving into a new home, actually a cottage which was gifted to her, or she inherited from her grandmother Rose. Now, they are doing renovation at their home, and then the builders in the backyard, they discover 2 dead bodies. Now they are worried. She has no clue who they are, but the police comes and they do their investigation and find out that the corpses are actually 30 years old. They want to question their grandmother, but their grandmother is in the senior home and she has Alzheimer's. Her memory is wavering and she cannot recall much of her past. So basically, it needs to be figured out who are these murdered people and who murdered them, and if Rose's grandmother has any part to play, or at least if she remembers who did it. It was an exciting read. I think out of all the thriller books that I read in March, this is my favorite. I really like the twist at the end. In fact, I did have an inkling of what is supposed to come because of I've been reading so many murder mysteries throughout my life, and I know where to look for, clues and red herrings and all that. So I was kind of able to guess it, and usually if I'm able to predict an ending, I end up not liking it, but that was not the case with this one, because the twist, even though I was kind of able to guess, I still loved it. I still loved that author went that way. I gave it 4 out of 5. In fact, I want to give 4.5, but I don't do that. So 4 out of 5 is the rating for The Couple at Number 9 by Claire Douglas. So, Tess Simpson is the new author that I discovered in March, and the second book that I read from her is called The New House. Premise is like this: there are like 3 couples who meet each other during house buying conundrum. The first couple, named Stacy and Felix Porter, they want to buy or they own this house called the Glass House, which is kind of an architectural attraction in the neighborhood, and it's highly priced and esteemed. That house is in the market. They want to sell their house. And then you have Billy downtown. She is a self-admitted kind of a psychopath, but she's not killed anybody or anything, but she is aware of her mental situation. But anyways, she is hell-bent on buying the glass house from Stacy and Felix, even though her husband Tom is not that keen. Then you have the third couple. So they are these YouTube celebrities. They have their own family vlog called Kuiper Life, I think. Yeah, so they want to buy Millie's house. That's the whole house buying conundrum. But in this whole situation, in their family, there is a psychopath involved, and that complicates things. The most interesting part about this book is the unknown POV that we get to listen to of a person giving TED Talk. And we understand from the talk that this person who is giving the TED Talk is a psychopath, a self-admitted psychopath who has not committed any crime. And this POV, trust me, it's very essential to the storyline. It adds to another layer of depth and intrigue to the whole mystery. So I really like that. And the second most interesting thing about this book, which I liked, is the audiobook narrator. Her name is Penelope Rawlings, and she has done such a good job in narrating the different voices of the different POVs. I really liked her. Sometimes, I struggle through the narrations or the style of narration. When it comes to audiobook, if the narrator is not matching what you're expecting, or sometimes it can be really bothering, then you cannot concentrate on the plot. But this was nothing like that. This was quite enjoyable. Even though the ending did not pack a punch or anything, I enjoyed the whole journey of going through the plot and the style of the narrator of the audiobook. So I really enjoyed this. I rated it 4 out of 5. The next book that I read is The Dinner Guest by B.P. Walter. We see a family of same-sex couple, Matthew and Charlie, and their teenage son Titus. They are living a very happy, quaint life. And into their life walks in a stranger called Rachel. She joins their book club. She is invited to their, dinner get-togethers and family getaways and all that. Book begins with one of these dinner parties to which Rachel was invited. We find out that Matthew is killed by someone at that dinner party, and who has killed them, what was their motive, that's the mystery. I was kind of disappointed. The conclusion felt very far-fetched, even though the beginning was okay and it kept me intrigued and interested. After the 50% mark, I kind of lost interest. I rated this 2 out of 5. That means I didn't like it much, which is sad because I want to like and love every book that I get into. So that was a bummer. Then quickly about some books that I got to finish, which I started in February. So I finished The Dragon Reborn. This is part of my Wheel of Time read along. I also finished The War Host of Vastmark in the first week of March. Then I also started The Shadow Rising, which is book number 4 in the Wheel of Time series. I think right now I'm around 25% into the book. It's a huge, humongous, it's like, I don't know, 1,000 pages or something. Definitely more than 950 pages, 1,000 pages around. So it's a huge book. So I am trying immersive reading with this book because I want to finish it sooner. For some reason, if I'm doing immersive reading, I read it faster. I'm able to focus more, maybe that's why. So that's the update about books that I read. Moving on to shows. So I watched the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I'm sure if you are a follower of my channel, you would have seen my review of the show. I really loved it. In fact, I loved season 2 much better than season 1. Then I discovered an amazing YouTube channel. I really watch a lot of documentaries, mainly history documentaries and science documentaries. And this one, The Fall of Civilization, is an amazing YouTube channel. And I watched a documentary about the Vijayanagara Kingdom. Vijayanagara Kingdom was one of the biggest kingdom that ruled south of India. They usually make really long documentaries, like 2 hours, 3 hours documentaries, but I find them all worth the time. If you're into documentaries and history and stuff like that, just check out their channel. And I watched this Netflix again documentary on Waco. Oh, I loved it. It's such a well-made documentary, and I didn't know the story about this, so it was kind of a mystery for me. So who gets killed, what will happen? So it was kind of watching a mystery thriller, even though it is sad that so many people had to lose their life. And I was really angry at the establishment and all the armed forces they went into, like crazy. Then I binge watched, in fact, this weekend, I watched The Night Agent on Netflix. It's a very stereotypical predictive story. I kind of guessed the culprits and who is behind who and all that. But I like a good action thriller kind of series. So I wanted something to watch this weekend to take my mind off things that were going on in life. So it's a nice distraction. I enjoyed it. Last but not the least, I watched An Accessory to Evil, Monique Olivier. So Monique Olivier, if you don't know who she is, she was the wife of a serial killer in France. He is this crazy ass psycho who killed young women. Some of them really young. One of them was like 9 years old or 10 years old. She assisted in all these killings and kidnapping and all that. Me being a true crime fanatic, I enjoyed it. If you like true crime shows, you should check it out. And this one is kind of different from the normal true crime show because it's focusing on this person who is secondary to these crimes. That's why this series is called Accessory to Evil. She was the accessory, but I'm thinking that without her help, so many women wouldn't have trusted this couple and then fallen into this evil trap. So those were the books and those were the movies. What did you guys read and watch? Let me know in the comments below. And I will see you soon in another video. This is Angie signing off. Bye-bye.